right, Chris and I just rolled into episode 3 of season 2 of The Sandman. I don't do spoiler free, so if you haven't watched the episode yet, make sure to go watch it before you watch this. Uh, you've had your warning moving into this. So it's a direct, basically, we're continuing on directly from the end of the last episode. So he, Dream has to make his decision about what to do with the key from hell. It's a difficult decision. He has many different things that are going on, right? And we still have at the beginning of this, Azazel made the offer and a threat, essentially, that if you don't give me the key, I will torture Nana forever. Um, During the night, the princess of the elves, of the fairies, can't sleep, and um, Dream meets her on the staircase, and we get another one of these really well done flashback sequences to when um, Dream was younger, several hundred years ago, when she was also much younger, and she was a part of the retinue that accompanied her father and mother, the king and queen of the fairies, to a play that was put on by none other than William Shakespeare, A Midsummer's Eve. And in this version of events, apparently at some point in time, Dream had a close relationship with Tatiana. Things fell apart. Oberon and them, and for a time he was no longer allowed to be a part of the fairy realm, prohibited. And his way of mending that relationship was to um, inspire and make a deal essentially with William Shakespeare. Who William Shakespeare had this dream that he wanted his words to live on in the minds of people forever, and so Dream gave him that wish, and the best work he ever created being the Midsummer's Night, Midsummer's Eve here, and so it's a really well done moment, and this episode is packed with cameos, from the King of the Elves to the Queen of the Elves, and then seeing Jackie Gleason, I think is his name, show up again. It's the first thing I've seen him do. I don't think it's the first thing he has done, but it's the first thing that I've seen him do since he played Joffrey on Game of Thrones. Because I know he had gone away from acting for a while, and pursued, college and life and things of that nature. So it was really cool to see him back in the saddle, playing the role of Puck, and not only just being a participant in the retinue of the king and queen, but also getting on stage and doing a Shakespearean performance. Um, it was like Chef's Kiss, just really really well done. So that entire sequence to me was probably my favorite part of this whole episode, and that recollection um, is very important to Dream, and he goes away from that and reflects on it, comes back in the morning, and decides ultimately to give the key to the angels themselves and give the key back to God. And this pisses off Azazel, and he threatens to kill Nada right then and there. And Dream is like, no, because everybody who is here is under my protection, whether knowingly or not. And because she is here with you, she is under my protection. And so he spits her forth, um, and he rescues her. Azazel tries to eat him. He's like, "Not in my house, bitch!" Puts Azazel in a bottle, and then everybody goes on about their business and goes their separate ways, um, while Nada remains to heal. Now, there's a few things that happen here. I'm assuming this is going to be a bigger part of what comes to pass in the next part of the next episode's period. So the one thing is that the princess of the elves is not allowed to return home. As she is leaving with her brother's like, "Oh, did they not tell you you're staying here as a permanent guest of Morpheus of Dream?" And she's like, "What?" She didn't know this was happening. He is like, "Well, okay, but you don't have to stay if you don't want to." She's like, "I do want to stay because if my family doesn't want me, I'm happy to stay here." Um, so that is something that's key. And then another thing that happens is as Odin and Thor are leaving, Thor's got Loki over his shoulder, and Thor is squirming, and he's got tape over his mouth and a rope or something, and he can't speak, but he's squirming and screaming. And Thor is like, I'm going to take him back to throw him in his pit. And they go off about their business. Quick commercial break, everyone, to celebrate and give thanks to all of these amazing people who keep me on the air full time. Really appreciate the support. All you got to do is join as a member. You get access to private videos. You can also do super thanks on any upload or super chats and stickers on any live stream or premiere you see. And beyond that, don't forget we're multi-streaming over on Twitch now, so you can support over there as well. Thanks so much to everybody. Let's get back to the video at hand. But then um, Morpheus finds what looks to be the Susano, I think was his name, the Sea Lord, the Korean Sea Lord, lurking about trying to sneak out through the basement. And he's like, but that's actually you, isn't it, Loki? And turns out that Loki put the other guy in his place, and he asks Dream if he can make a deal. And Dream was like, you know what? Yeah, okay. Tell you what, I'll put a dream version of you in the cell, but you're gonna owe me. And he's like, well, what do you want? And he's like, I don't know yet. I'm not gonna call that bluff. No, I'm not gonna call that debt right now, but you're gonna owe me. And they go away to talk. We don't know what the deal is, but I have a feeling that's gonna come into play later on, having Loki owe him something. Um, Nada, of course, doesn't want anything to do with him after this point. He does try to make things right with her, and ultimately she is like, no, you left me to suffer for 10,000 years. She opts to go back to the realm of the humans and live a new life. And he professes his love for her, and she's like, no, you don't. I don't think you actually love me. I think you just want what you can't have. I don't think your kind is even capable of love. You only have desire. And he kind of reflects on that. He's like, that's not true. You can't tell me what's in my heart. And she ultimately basically tells him, get stuffed. And good luck with your future King of Dreams. And she leaves and the door is shut. And the closing shot of this episode is really well done, where the door's shut and everything goes to black. And we get the silhouette of Dream with like lightning flashing in the background. And you see his face, very inhumane, very otherworldly, glowing eyes. Definitely looking like one of the endless, one of, especially looking like some of the comic um, images where he's looking like an otherworldly alien being as opposed to the humanoid that we have seen for the most part in all of these episodes. But it's just an incredibly well crafted VFX shot of the camera just pulling away and getting distance from him. And it's just pure darkness, his silhouette against the backlit of like candles. And with the lightning flashes, you see half of his face and the glowing eyes. And he just looks absolutely devastated, pissed, heartbroken, all of these emotions rolled into one, and it just makes you think, what is he going to do next? And we actually don't know what's going to happen next because that was like the end of the first arc, right? By the way, he also meets up with Satan at some point and like wishes her the best, and she's off on a beach somewhere. Um, so I'm really interested to see where we go here because again, if you go back to what Destiny had said, this is supposed to be the beginning of some war. And so we know we have the Princess of the Fairies here. Um, he's got to deal with Loki. We've finished the storyline with Nada. What's next? I don't know. But we've got 3 more episodes in this first part, and I will let you guys know when Chris and I watch the next one, so stay tuned. In the meantime, like, subscribe, hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. Check out the playlist down below for more, and of course, check out all the other stuff that we do here on the channel, including other TV shows, movies, and games. See you next time.